Look at them. The rhythm of it. The three figures, bent to the earth, moving with a slow, deliberate grace. They are part of the landscape itself, like natural features arising from the soil they comb. See the poetic symmetry of their postures, backs curved like the sheaves, hands patient and selective. This is the time-honored practice of gleaning, the gathering of the leftovers after the main harvest. It is a rite, but also a reflection of character. Here is the humble, honest poor. They ask for no handout. They take only what the abundant land and the diligent harvesters have left behind, a few forgotten stalks at a time. Their labor is quiet, uncomplaining. They know their place in the order of things. They are the deserving poor, rendered with a dignity that is earned through acceptance. The golden light does not judge, it sanctifies. It paints a picture of rural life as a complete, self-sustaining cycle. The vast harvest in the distance, the bustling activity around the haystack, that is the wealth of the land, the rightful yield of those who own and manage it. And here, in the foreground, is a modest, beautiful footnote to that plenty. All is as it should be. The field is generous, the workers are respectful, and the social fabric remains whole, woven together by mutual obligation and quiet toil. But that quiet is a lie. This field is not a picture of harmony. It is a battlefield. The right to glean was not a gentle tradition, but a fragile, fiercely contested privilege. In the years surrounding this painting, the French countryside was seething. New laws were increasingly siding with landowners, enclosing commons and criminalizing the ancient practices of the poor. Gleaners were often seen as thieves, their baskets scrutinized, their very presence an annoyance to progress. Because this was also the age of mechanization. The threshing machine was on the horizon, a contraption that would leave no stalks at all. These women are not figures in an eternal pastoral. They are the displaced, the landless poor, squeezed by enclosure, industrialization, and a legal system shifting against them. Their bent backs are not merely poetic. They are the posture of survival in a world that is actively pushing them out. That golden light, it obscures the gray reality of hunger, of desperation, of a simmering class war fought over every stray grain of wheat. This is not a universal truth of rural life. It is a fragile, vanishing, and violently disputed moment. This is where the duel of ideas takes place in the very composition. One view is romantic agrarianism, the belief in the moral virtue of rural life, the beauty of tradition, the stabilizing hierarchy of the land. This perspective sees these women as noble, yes, but noble in their station. Their elevation is aesthetic, meant to reassure the viewer that beauty and order exist even at the bottom of the social ladder. It is a conservative vision, one that finds peace in the cycle and warns against the disruption of progress or revolution. The opposing view is an emerging socialist reality. It looks at the same canvas and sees structural exploitation. It asks, why do these women own no land? Why must they scavenge while the pyramid of harvest dominates the background? It sees not a cycle, but a division between those who profit and those who pick up the scraps. The monumental, almost religious treatment of the figures isn't just dignity, it's a monument to labor itself. And by framing it this way, the painting inadvertently asks a dangerous question. What is the true source of wealth, if not the labor of those who bend their backs to the soil? So let us return to the painting, see it now not as a window, but as a machine for creating belief. Watch as we pan across the horizon, the vast rolling fields, the abundant haystacks, the overseer on his horse, a tiny but potent symbol of authority and ownership. The bounty is immense, organized, and distant. Now, zoom in, tightly, on the hands, clawing at the stubble, on the anonymous weathered faces obscured by shadow and bonnet, on the repetitive, exhausting strain in the spine of the woman in blue. The pan and zoom is no longer a tool to appreciate a scene. It is a tool to measure a distance, the violent social distance between the background and the foreground. The physical feet are short. The economic chasm is immense. The pastoral poem is over. The light is not golden, but glaring. The rhythm is not poetic, but relentless. These are not gleaners in the soft, feudal sense. They are the rural proletariat. And the most potent trick of this painting, its final brilliant mechanism of control, is its breathtaking beauty. That beauty is the anesthetic. It takes the raw political fact of hungry human beings and transforms them into aesthetic objects. It makes their struggle pleasing to look at. It allows the comfortable viewer, the urban bourgeois who bought this painting for their salon, to feel a pang of sentiment, not a call to justice. To admire the composition, not question the economy. The painting's power is that it neutralizes its own threat. It turns three women fighting for survival into a beautiful, quiet, and ultimately reassuring picture of the way things are. And in doing so, it asks the most propagandistic question of all: how could anything so beautiful possibly be wrong? So, what do we do with this beautiful, complicating machine? Perhaps we sit with the discomfort. Perhaps we look closer at the other beautiful machines in our own world. And if you feel so moved to own a piece of this paradox, to hang a meticulously reproduced fragment of this propaganda on your own wall, thus completing a centuries-old cycle of aesthetic consumption, well, the link is in the description. Consider it a conversation starter, or perhaps a beautifully framed hypocrisy. If you found this experience insightful, please consider subscribing to the channel and smashing that like button. And thank you sincerely for listening.